You're probably clicking onto this video hoping I'm going to rage bait you into saying that Stuart Skinner is an elite goaltender in the NHL, or you're looking for me to absolutely bash Stuart Skinner and say that he's trash. Well, I'm not going to say neither of those. That's the whole point of this. The whole point is trying to figure out if Stuart Skinner is an elite goaltender, an above average goaltender, an average goaltender in the NHL, or just a below average goaltender, or absolutely trash. And on the outside, you might be able to say, yes, this is an easy question to answer. Is Stuart Skinner good or bad? And it should be easy. But when you take a look at what Stuart Skinner's done, it makes it very difficult. So when having the conversation of whether or not Stuart Skinner is a good starting goaltender in the NHL, it's very difficult because when we take a look at what he's done in the playoffs, he gets the wins. Where have they made it the last 2 years? The Stanley Cup final and the Western Conference final once again. And he's had 3 shutouts so far in the playoffs. All 3 of his wins have been shutouts. Yes, this is why I'm saying it's an up and down road, because the 4 losses that he has in the playoffs, he's left in 20 goals. So it's 5 goals a game or it's 0 goals a game. That's what makes this conversation so difficult with Stuart Skinner. Is he a good goaltender, or is he just an average goaltender, or is he trash? That's what we're here to talk about today. And welcome back to another video on Justin Sports. I'm Justin Ehrenberg, your host. And if you don't know by now, like, subscribe, leave a comment. And yeah, I hope you enjoy hockey content, because that's what we're here to make. And if you want to see more, let me know. Let me know what you want to see in the comments. I'm down to do any. And if you don't follow me on Instagram, X, or TikTok, please do so by now, because if you like hockey content, I guarantee you're going to like what you see over there as well. So let's get into the conversation. Is Stuart Skinner an elite goaltender in the NHL? It's a hard answer. It's not that simple. It's very complicated when you think about it. If we go look at his stats this playoffs right now, you're going to say, no, he's not, because he has 7 games played, 3 wins, 4 losses, 2.9 goals against average, and an 890 save percentage. Okay, that's not that good, right? But then you take a look at his 3 wins, and they're all 3 shutouts, and he looks stellar in those 3 games. He gets the series clinching win on the road against Vegas. He gets the Game 2 victory against Dallas in the Western Conference Finals to even the series. It's so difficult because he's so up and down. Stuart Skinner has said this multiple times about battling the mental game, and he's the perfect example of this, because he definitely battles mentally in the net, game to game, on how his game is actually going to look. It's very simple for me with him. It's the hardest goaltender in the league to judge in terms of whether or not he's good or bad, because there's so many good games and there's so many bad games with him. But yeah, if we look at his regular season stats, this year plays 50 games, has 26 wins, 18 losses. Listen, 2.881 goals against average and an 896 save percentage, below 900. Not great, right? It's not terrific. And then if you go look at his postseason stats, and it's not just this year that I'm talking about, we're going back a couple years now. In the playoffs, he went 14-9 last year with a 2.45 goals against average and a 901 save percentage. This year, he's, like I said, 2.9 goals against average, 890 save percentage. So looking at his numbers in a vacuum, I would have to say he's just an average goaltender, right? It's there's so much up and down with him that he's not an elite goaltender. He's not a trash goaltender. He's not the worst goaltending in the league. I would give that crown to either the Philadelphia Flyers or the San Jose Sharks this year in terms of tandem goaltending, in terms of Georgiev playing for the San Jose Sharks. That was absolute trash. But anyway, going back to Stuart Skinner, he's an average goaltender. It's just that simple for me right now with Stuart Skinner and his performances. But if we go and compare him to the rest of the league, this is where it gets interesting. Because if we go on Money Puck here, and great website here for hockey. If you love looking up hockey stuff, this is an app to go, or a website to go to. Okay, so a really good stat is the goals saved above expected. And Stuart Skinner right now in the playoffs finds himself 23rd out of 27 goaltenders, okay? Connor Hellebuck is the one that's the worst right now, obviously eliminated from the playoffs. But Stuart Skinner finds himself 23rd out of 27, and that means some backups playing. But listen, it could have been a lot worse. Like these expected saves could be so much worse if he didn't record 3 shutouts. And that's the difficult part when trying to decide, is Stuart Skinner good or bad? And he might not even be the best team on, or the best goalie on his team. That's the hardest part about this. Because when you take him, like 20 goals against in those 5 games, like I said earlier, and then Calvin Pickard, like 19 goals against in 7 games, they're both average goaltenders at best, right? Like, it's so hard. And that's why I wanted to make this. Like, it's so hard to decide whether or not Stuart Skinner is a good goaltender, because some games he'll trick you into thinking like he's unbeatable, like you can't beat him, and then the next game he goes out and lays a goose egg. And I don't know if it's the mental toughness or like it's just here nor there, if it's the Edmonton Oilers defense, because we know that that's not the best in the world. Like, we don't know exactly how to pinpoint whether or not Stuart Skinner is an elite goaltender in the NHL, because there's so many factors that go into it. Like we said, you got to have a good team surrounding him, obviously. They don't have the best defense in the world, and what they have on defense is a lot of offensive defensemen. In other outside of Darnell Nurse, you have John Klingberg, who is an offensive defenseman in my eyes. You have Jake Wallman. You have the most offensive defenseman in the entire league right now, that being Evan Bouchard. Like, I don't know whether or not it's partly them, whether or not it's partly Stuart Skinner not seeing the puck well, whether it's him just not playing the position that well in terms of like having good posture in the net. Like, is he challenging pucks correctly? Like, it's so hard to tell with him because it's game to game basis, right? Like, you're not going to know what you get out of Stuart Skinner. And that's the hardest part about it, because you go in game 1 against the Dallas Stars, right? Through 40 minutes, he looks incredible, right? Like, he's making saves. Not incredible, but he's making the saves that he has to, right? And then in the third period, he lets in 5 goals. 5 goals in the third period in a game that you're up 3-1. In a terrible, terrible collapse. Now, yes, couple power play goals for sure, but you're in the playoffs and you hope that your goalie can make those saves, right? Like, you're at the point where you're down to the final 4 teams and you got to make more saves than the other goaltender, and simply Stuart Skinner couldn't do it that night, but then he turns around and has a shutout. So, like I said, this is the hardest question, I think, in hockey right now, whether or not Stuart Skinner is actually good. But yeah, let me know if you guys think he actually is good or bad. I'm curious to know your thoughts, and I hope you guys enjoyed this video. I know it's hard because I haven't given you a distinct answer. Like I said, I think he's an average goaltender in the NHL. I don't think he's good. I don't think he's bad. I just think he's average. And if we had him on a different team, I think then we could really solve the answer here, because he's only been on the Edmonton Oilers. Okay. That does it for this video, though. I'm Justin Ehrenberg. Like I said, Justin Sports. Enjoy the Saturday, enjoy the day, and we'll check you later.